Wisconsin v. Darryl Brooks. November 21, 2021. Darryl Brooks truly became the Grinch that stole Christmas. For the first time since the worldwide lockdown, Waukesha, Wisconsin, was having its annual Christmas parade. Thousands of unsuspecting people lined up along the streets of Waukesha, ready to celebrate Christmas with family and friends.
It was meant to be a day of joy and cheer.
Get out the way!
The annual Waukesha, Wisconsin Christmas Parade, back for the first time since the pandemic, and quickly became a scene of horror as an SUV swerved through the crowd.
Oh my gosh!
There's like 7 injured that way. There's so many down there.
These images from above showing entire families, children, and parade participants desperately trying but unable to escape the vehicle's path. People terrified, many screaming for loved ones. The violent incident killing at least 5 people and injuring 48, 18 children hospitalized, 6 in critical condition.
PM, the red SUV drove into our Christmas parade that we were holding downtown. More than 20 individuals were injured as a result of this incident. The Waukesha Police Department has recovered a suspect vehicle. It's an ongoing investigation. Victims were actually transported from the scene via ambulance. Officers actually transported some of the injured personnel and took them to the hospitals, and some victims were actually transported by family members and friends to the hospitals. Very tragic incident, very chaotic. There is no other threats involved. The scene is now safe.
Mr. Brooks left behind a trail of destruction, causing a massacre that captivated the nation. After borrowing his mother's vehicle, a red SUV, earlier that day, Brooks assaulted the mother of his child at a local establishment, violating a protective order. It was while fleeing this incident, in fear of the police being called, Mr. Brooks approached the annual Christmas parade, speeding up to 100 miles per hour. According to witnesses, the youngest victim was just 8 years old, marching with his sibling who sustained a fractured skull and his baseball team. Other victims included a group of vivacious women called the Dancing Grannies and parade goers. Mr. Brooks abandoned his vehicle and was later found hiding at the home of another unsuspecting Good Samaritan. Listen to Darryl playing innocent.
We was sitting right there on the porch. We was just sitting there.
To find how long? Estimate.
Maybe 20, 30 minutes, maybe.
Okay.
It wasn't long, but it was long enough for, like I said, he let me use his phone. We sat on the porch. We were sitting right there, just like this, just sitting on the porch. While I called me an Uber. I called the Uber. I said, look, man, I let him know. I said, look, I ain't trying to rob you or nothing like that. Because when I knocked on the door, he kind of was like, whoa. I'm like, look, I don't got no weapons. I'm not trying to break in your house. I'm not trying to rob you. Nothing like that, dog. I just need to call an Uber. That's it. I'm not, he was just like, okay. I'll come out. Boom. I need an Uber to, what's your address? He told me the address. And we was just sitting there waiting. That's how I was going to get back home. I told him, I said, I got the money on my card. I'm not asking you for no money. I just need to use your phone. That's it.
Darryl lying about the assault.
In that area, by the park, it was a lot of people out.
Okay.
Like I said, it looked like something was, I don't know what the hell. But it was a lot of people out. And it was, like I said, it was people, it was older couples walking down the street. It was younger people walking down the street. People
It was like an event or something was going on?
I don't know, but it kind of seemed like it was a lot, like it was something going on to where it was vibrant. Because there was a lot of people everywhere.
Walking up and down the street.
Everywhere. Just people. That's what I'm saying. Like, if I got into a fight with her right there, it would be impossible for somebody to not be like, hey, this guy's fighting this chick or whatever the case may be. Like, how could somebody not see something?
This is where it gets tricky for Darryl. Up until now he has played innocent. Detectives are slowly about to expose him, and he isn't going to be too happy about it.
Creep,
You met her,
you say that.
you met her at the park in your mom's car. A red Ford Escape. She got in, you talked, and what you're telling me seems pretty consistent, that there was nothing physical between the two of you.
No.
But you met her in the car.
I didn't put my hands on her or nothing.
But you met her in the car.
What's going on, man?
Asking you a question.
Just be.
You were out there
Just tell
driving
me
kind
what's
of
going
crazy.
on,
Some
man.
people said you were driving kind of crazy. We got reports of it. You got the key. You got the car. Did you take the car, or did your mom give you the car? I know you know what car I'm talking about.
I just want to know. So,
Some people
Now,
reported,
listen,
you had all those
okay,
people
no,
out
no,
there
no,
that
no, no.
reported that car driving a bit erratic.
I know what you're saying. All I'm saying is this. We all been straight up with each other. You knew it was more to what you was asking me yesterday.
Didn't know
That
for
would
sure.
explain the FBI and all that, right?
They're not here today. So if it's that big a deal, you don't see them here today.
Come on, Kurt. Hey, we been.
You guys met in the car in the park.
We've been cool,
Yeah,
man, the whole time. If I did something
Yeah,
wrong,
that's why they were
serious-
here. But do you see them here today? They're not here today.
Yeah, but y'all lied to me, man. You made it seem like they just come for no reason.
Well, here's the thing, Darryl.
And I'm like, what
Hey,
if it's
listen to
that?
me for a minute.
I apologize.
I can give you a clean slate
I
here.
apologize.
Because you have lied to us as well. Because you came out here in the red Ford Escape. Okay, that is what you came out here in. You had the key. Alright? So, what I want to do is try to give us all a chance to reset. You understand what I'm saying? Start over. Because you're not giving us an accurate story. You didn't ride out with Marcus in a tan car. You said your mom doesn't have a car. I've just told you we've disproven that. All right? I don't know what kind of woman she is. I don't know what you all been through. But you were seen in the car driving kind of acting a fool. Okay? In basically the same area that you've already been able to describe to me. I'm just trying to figure out how and why it happened. What made you tear out of there? What made you so mad where you're like, fuck it, and you raced on out of there? And then people go, man, he's driving around here kind of fast.
All I want to know, like I said, y'all been cool with me. Am I charged with anything? That's all I want to know.
Darryl decided to represent himself.
I think he was able to do it. I just don't think he wanted to. I just think this is all part of his charade. This referring to himself in the third person, trying to distract him or detract himself, I should say, from the events, taking absolutely no responsibility. It's the act of a narcissistic coward. Those words have been used here today, and nothing could be further from the truth. He is a coward. He ran like a scared little chicken from this parade, trying to slither away in the dark of night, but only to stop long enough and try and take advantage of good citizens that would help him. He calls and lies to his mom, right? Get me an Uber. I can't get into it. He lies to the officers repeatedly. We saw the time of his arrest. We heard the testimony from Daniel Ryder, a good man with good intentions and a good heart who took this murderer into his home and held him there long enough for the police to come and take him away. without any knowledge whatsoever of what had gone on. He takes advantage of everyone. He's extremely manipulative. He absolutely thinks he's in control of everything, when in fact, as he sits here in custody, he's in control of nothing except for his own behavior.
Mr. Brooks, be quiet.
Except
I'm
for
not
his...
going to sit here and be disrespected.
Mr. Brooks, be quiet.
I'm not going to
You'll
sit
have
here
your
and be
opportunity.
disrespected.
These are sentencing arguments and they can make them.
So I could do the same thing?
Mr. Brooks, there's nothing disrespectful. They are doing it in
Yes,
a
it is.
respectful
Okay,
way.
call me out of my name again.
Go ahead, Attorney Opper.
Judge, these are the facts. You heard from so many of these parents and so many of the people that were there of that fight or flight, right, that kicked in. He ran.
Darryl Brooks not only caused mayhem that November day, he turned the trial into a circus, with all his distractions attempting to slow down the wheels of justice. At times he had to be removed from court due to loud outbursts and continued disrespect.
9 different times. So, I think I've made an ample record of the disruptions today. I've been abundantly patient with you. Again, as I stated earlier, I've even limited how I tell these things to the jury about how to disregard, and I simply say the jury is to disregard comments and statements made by the parties or the lawyers, as those are not evidence. So I'm warning you, do not interrupt again. If this jury comes back or when they come back and you do that, then you will be removed and you will forfeit your right to be present for the examination of this witness. Let's bring the jury back in.
Here we go.
You might as well remove me then, because what you're doing is not fair. I can't even rebut what you're saying. I didn't interrupt you. I let you make your incorrect record.
Mr. Brooks, I'm bringing the jury out and we're continuing. We're going to get through these witnesses.
And I'm not stopping you from doing that.
Through your behavior, you're not going to delay these proceedings today.
I'm not trying to
We're gonna
delay the
continue.
proceedings, so I wish you would stop being incorrect on the record and saying what I'm trying to do if you don't know that. You don't know what I'm trying to do.
I'm bringing the jury out. I'm not going to argue with you.
Then don't. Because I'm not arguing with you either. I'm stating
You're
facts.
raising your voice. It's
Because
very
I'm tired of you always making a
yelling
record.
at me.
You're making a record of me trying to look bad. I know what you're trying to do. It's not going to work.
I'm making a record of what's accurately
You're
being
making
done
a
in my
record of
courtroom.
incorrect statements. That's what you're doing. You're not making a record of
Mr.
not
Brooks,
being
I'm
able.
advising you to be quiet because the jury's coming back out.
You're advising me to be quiet? Is you telling me to be
I'm
quiet?
advising you to be respectful when the
Are
jury
you
comes
telling
out.
me to be quiet, or are you asking me?
I'm asking you and advising
Okay.
you.
Thank you for correcting that, because don't nobody tell me what to do. I don't tell nobody else what to do.
I'd appreciate
We're all
if you lower
we're all
your tone
adults
of
in here.
voice
I've
and
never
not yell
told
at
you
me,
to do
sir.
anything at all.
Sir, I'd appreciate if your tone of voice would change.
I would appreciate if you would ask me. I'm a grown man with grown kids. Ain't nobody gonna talk to me like that. Nobody. I don't have a problem with doing what you ask me to do, not tell me. Just like when I asked you about subject matter jurisdiction that you have yet to prove on the record. But somehow I'm being intentionally disruptive. Come on, man. Stop. Just stop it.
Jury's coming out.
All rise for the jury.
Not gonna work. I'm supposed to be scared of getting removed or something.
The bailiff is ready to tackle him. Darrow continues to stare down Judge Darrow as the jury enters the courtroom. He would use these tactics up until the very end of trial.
Thank you, everyone. Please be seated. Statement continue its examination of this witness.
Eventually, Mr. Brooks had to be removed from the courtroom due to his outrageous behavior, outburst, and even stripping out his clothes at times. After begging to come back and join the trial, as his own lawyer Darryl tried to get his case thrown out and tried very hard for a mistrial. But that wasn't the end of his legal battle.
Can I come back? Can
So
I come
sit
back?
down.
It wasn't honored. And then I
So I
said,
can
okay,
finish.
I'll write this and I'll see if Your Honor can see it on the screen. The objection sign saying,
Mr.
I've
Brooks,
exercised my right
if
to
you
be present.
stop for a
May I have
minute,
the order of the court?
I'll explain it, but you have to stop so I can explain it.
Your Honor, I did what you asked me to do.
Actually not.
Yes.
Let me explain
And
if you would like.
If I didn't, Your Honor, if I did not do what you asked me to do, then why was I allowed to come back if I did not do what you asked me to do?
Because I'm frankly going to a very distinct portion of this hearing where I am going to impose sentence.
Okay, that doesn't
and
answer
that
the question, though, Your
matters.
Honor. That doesn't answer the question.
Please sit down
Wait.
and I will explain and
Your Honor,
remain quiet
with all
without
due-
interrupting me.
With all due respect.
That doesn't mean you're respecting me, so please sit down.
With all due respect, you told the bailiff when I first said, because every time that I've been brought over there in the past,
Mr. Brooks,
you always stated,
I don't need a history
you always
lesson of
stated
what I've done.
that when I exercise my right to be present,
Untrue.
you've
Untrue.
always said,
Untrue.
we have the record. We have the record. We can dig into the record.
Mr. Brooks?
I know what the requirement was of me going over there. You've always stated on the record that when I exercise my right to be present, you will bring me back if I will follow the rules of decorum. That's your exact words, which you said every time.
Which you're
I've
demonstrating
never- I've
right now
never
that
had-
you have absolutely
Your
no
Honor,
ability to do.
With all due respect, I've never had to go through any type of certain words that needed to be said or stressed or anything like that before. I've always done it the way that you've asked me to do it. No different than today when I told the bailiff I would like to be present. You told the bailiff if he wants to be present, he has to put it in writing.
8:42 a.m. this court ordered Mr. Brooks be removed from the courtroom due to repeated interruptions and disruption with the court. This, of course, comes on the recent history with Mr. Brooks. On every day that we have been in court since Monday, he has shown a complete and utter disrespect for the simple rules of civility. He has been removed from the courtroom multiple times. This morning alone, he started interrupting this court within a minute of the court calling the case. I should also make a record at the moment he is muted because of the way that he was removed from the courtroom and his conduct since. I have been given just a bit of information about it. I will advise everyone that I have required that the Sheriff's Department file a written report with the court regarding Mr. Brooks's conduct. I'm told that he would not sit down while in this courtroom in order to have the shackles removed so that he could be taken to the other courtroom, that he was resisting, that at one point he took off a shoe and it appeared to the deputies that he was going to throw the shoe.
Darryl Brooks was ultimately found guilty of his crimes by a jury of his peers. He was sentenced to life in prison, plus 5 years. He also was sentenced for the assault on his child's mother. Mr. Brooks has been incarcerated in Waukesha State Prison and is currently waiting for his appeal. The final due date is December 10, 2024. We will keep you posted if there are any updates in his case.
I'm not stupid.
Well, I disagree with that, sir.
If you made it this far, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for daily content.